Alright, so today we're taking a delve into what has been my probably favorite competitive format for at least the past few years, and that is going to be Pioneer / Explorer. Of course, there are a few key cards missing on Arena, so we still have Explorer. We don't have a Tournament Pioneer quite yet, but hopefully we can get there soon. But this deck is all the way here. So we're going to be playing some Azorius Control today, very much in my wheelhouse, sort of my comfort zone, playing the nice control deck, sort of draw, go, control, counter all your spells, kill all your things, and win the game with a few Planeswalkers. So this version is, the main innovation is a few things. Number one is it is adding a few key lands, namely Fountainport and Sunken Citadel. Fountainport, an extremely powerful land printed in Bloomburrow. It's able to make us blockers by making a fish. It's able to then like chump block with those fish and sack them to draw cards. And then the Sunken Citadel, of course, is able to power up all our land abilities, which includes our man lands with the 2 Restless Anchorage and the 1 Hall. It helps with our pitch lands, our Otawara, our Eiganjo, and it of course also powers up the Fountainports and the Field of Ruin abilities as well. So the mana base is very sort of utility focused. You will notice that we now have a few more tap lands. We're only running the 1 Meticulous Archive, but we also have 4 colorless sources, which could sometimes be problematic early on, but I think the utility is worth it. In terms of our interaction suite, we have 4 copies of No More Lies, 3 copies of Dovin's Veto as our main counter spells, our main 2 mana counter spells, as well as 3 Steps Ahead, which is sort of like the closest thing we can get in Pioneer to a cool cryptic command draw go action. The spree allows us to, for 1 blue, just cancel, counter a spell. For 3 extra mana, we can create a token that's a copy of an artifact or creature I control. That's the mode we're going to be using the least. We could make like an Emperor token or like a treasure token or something, but that rarely comes into play. But then for an additional 2 mana, we get to draw 2 and discard a card, which is very, very good. If we could just, time walk them, they play their like big spell on turn 5, we counter it, draw 2, discard a card, that's amazing. March of the Otherworldly Light is a card that's been going up and down a lot in the Azorius Control decks over the course of its history. I like this card quite a lot. I really enjoy the versatility, the fact that it can exile basically anything that isn't a Planeswalker, any non-land permanent that isn't a Planeswalker, or even like just 1 mana to exile an attacking man land. Because it doesn't specify non-land, it just says artifact, creature, or enchantment with mana value X or less. That could be very helpful when people are going for like transmogrify strategy, stuff like that, as well as killing those pesky little aggro creatures. We also have Get Lost. Something that this deck does probably not the best out of any other type of interaction is it's very bad at dealing with Planeswalkers. So when they have the 2 Get Lost, ideally we would want to like counterspell the Planeswalkers, but a Resolve Planeswalker can sometimes be pesky to deal with. We do have some manlands to attack, some Wandering Emperor tokens to attack into it, Teferi can tuck it, but Get Lost is sort of our catch-all, like, easy answer to it, as well as, like, if we want to get rid of something like Shieldred, instead of paying, like, 5 mana for a March, we just Get Lost it. 2 temporary lockdowns in the main is basically a must right now. You have all sorts of token strategies running around, you have the Rakdos aggro strategy, you're always going to find red deck wins on the ladder, so temporary lockdown is going to be very helpful for that. Then in terms of our sweeper sweep beyond that, I'm running 2 Supreme Verdict, 2 Sunfall, and the 1 Farewell. Sunfall oftentimes ends up being a lot better than Supreme Verdict in a lot of cases. It does cost 1 more mana, which could be like life or death against like Boros Convoke, for instance. But it being able to exile creatures against something like Phoenix is very, very helpful. Then in terms of our card advantage, we have Memory Deluge. Just very solid, like 4 mana play. You leave 4 mana up. You can leave up 2 counter spells, a removal spell, or an Emperor, or a Deluge. It's just super versatile, super good. Of course, the 3 Teferi Hero of Dominaria. That's the card everybody knows and loves or hates from the control deck. And you will notice that something unique about this deck is I'm running 3 Jace the Perfected Mind. This is a card that I basically fell in love with as soon as it was printed, and I've enjoyed playing it immensely. It does a few things in this deck. It's a 3 mana Planeswalker that you can get down earlier on if you really need that sort of like board presence, force them to like attack into it, get distracted by it. It can be really pesky to kill with the +1, just shrinking a creature every turn. Could also buy you a lot of time if maybe you're mana screwed, or if you're trying to drop a few lands before you can drop a big sweep or something like that. The -2 is a decent enough card advantage engine, where you could just sort of every few turns just draw an extra card while they're trying to deal with your Jace. Additionally, something that I like to do with it is earlier on, I like to scout, sort of see what they're playing. If they're playing something weird, Millen can help with that. It also, the -2 also works very well with Teferi. If you tuck something, Jace can then -2 and get rid of it immediately. And the main purpose of him being here, though, is that he's like, it's essentially just like an alternate win con. The -X, you mill 3 times X cards, where X is the amount of loyalty that you pay. So if you have like 2 Jaces in hand, one Jace is at like 6 or something, you mill 18, drop the other Jace, mill 15. It's a really cool way to like finish off the game out of nowhere, and it's something people don't expect. And if you're getting into a spot where it's like you basically have control over the game, but you're not unable to get like a leg up on the board state, you're in this like big board stall, or I've been in an instance where someone's like looping Atraxes a million times, and like their card advantage is just insane, but I can't like kill all the Atraxes. I just drop down Jace, mill them for the last 30 cards, and it's GG. So it can be really helpful for situations like that. Of course, since we don't have any creatures in the main, we get to run Kaheera as our companion, our friendly little cat. As for the sideboard, we're running 2 Rest in Peace for the Phoenix decks and the Graveyard decks. We're running Temporary Lockdown, 1 extra, so for 3 in the main against something like, you know, Boros Convoke, any of those small creature decks. 2 Mystical Disputes for the blue matchups, 2 Narsets for like the Phoenix decks, the Control Mirrors, stuff like that. My aggro card of choice is Knock-Up Blow. I changed that from Elspeth's Smite recently. I think the 4 damage instead of 3 is actually quite helpful against like, you know, a Monstrous Rage on a Swift Spear or something like that. And the 2 life could also be extremely relevant. We're also running 2 Biza, the Bounding Spring. This card is kind of cracked against like aggro and mid-range matchups. The fact that like, you know, you could play it, get a 4/5, 2 1/1s, and some life is just absolutely incredible. Helps you really stabilize the board, buys you a ton of time when you can like really dig towards your endgame threats. The extra Farewell against like all the enchantment decks, stuff like that, like the big mid-range decks, like your like classical Rakdos mid-range stuff like that. And then the 2 Shark Typhoons against like control mirrors. It's also really good against a lot of mid-range matchups and even some aggro matchups. So yeah, that's the deck list, and let's see how we do. Okay, on the draw with this hand, not great. It's a 2-lander. We have no more lies, but that's about it. I'm gonna mulligan. Another 2-lander. This time we're on 6. Man. Alright, keep on 6. Opponent is playing Gigantha, so that screams probably sack, Rakdos sack. These 2 lands are more awkward as well, which is a little bit annoying. Alright, there's the Unlucky Witness. Alright, we drew the 3rd land, so we're gonna go... This is awkward. Yeah, we have. We're just gonna play this because that's tapped no matter what. So this is the upside. If we draw an untapped land this turn, we can hold up Veto. There's the Scavenger's Talent. And the Witch's Oven. Okay, we did draw the untapped land. That's pretty good. We're going to have to march one of these things. And I think that's just going to depend on what they do. If they level this up, I'll probably exile this. If they play Cat, I'll exile this. We'll see. We'll just see what they do. They only have 2 cards left. They're buying Gigantha. Alright, I am just going to exile this. It leaves them with the Oven, which isn't great, but like, without a Cat, this is a pretty decent engine piece of theirs. I think I'm just gonna hold up the 3 steps ahead. Am I gonna hold the 3 steps ahead? I guess. Could play the Jace here. This thing's only a 1/1, so I'm taking very minimal damage each turn. If they do nothing, I might just use this to draw. Alright, they're gonna cash in their Unlucky Witness. They find Deadly Dispute and Fatal Push. That's not great. If they cast that Deadly Dispute, I'm going to counter it. They do cast a Deadly Dispute. They seem to be low on resources, so I don't want to give them more resources, so I think I'm just supposed to counter that with Dovin's Veto. 3 steps ahead would be more mana efficient there, but it could counter the Gigantha that's coming down next turn. No! Really? Your last 2 cards are Cat Oven? Are you kidding me? That sucks. Okay. At this point, this point, what am I doing with my life? I think I'm just going to play the Jace and start taking it up. They're going to try and get Giganta down next turn. They're dealing me 2 each turn with the frickin' Cat-Oven combo, which is obnoxious, of course. But, yeah. I'm going to play Jace here. Just start taking it up.
I'll take note of all your failures.
And sort of force them to deal with that. Because eventually it will mill them for like a crap ton. If they don't draw a land this turn, I can counter draw with 3 steps ahead when they go for Giganta on the following turn. If they do draw a land this turn and just drop Giganta, if they try to attack me with it, I can Emperor it. So that's the plan there. If they found Bitter Triumph, I guess I'm bad, whatever. Alright, they did find a land, but it was a tap land. So we're gonna play this. Alright, I'm just gonna draw a card with Jace. Mill myself, of course, because we don't want to put more cats in their yard.
I know where.
Alright, I don't mind missing out on those. And they get to loop the cat twice this turn, of course. Very difficult to interact with this. Because everything's at instant speed, even if you had instant speed Graveyard Hate. Like, Temporary Lockdown obviously does a very good job at dealing with it, but not much besides that. Like, they get to attack Jace, and if I try and Emperor it, they just sack it and bring it back, you know, so he's gonna take damage, he can take it. He is gaining me quite a bit of life. Alright, here's Giganta, and we're just going to do what I said and counter draw, which is pretty good. And Normalize is honestly kind of useless this day and age at this point. Well, I can still counter a Mayhem Devil. Yeah, I'm gonna discard the Hallowed Fountain. So not exactly the draws I was looking for. Jace is gonna sit here and continue to be a distraction for now.
Become subdued.
4, 5, 6. He's becoming subdued, but only temporarily. 6 mana, so we could do Emperor plus one of the 2 mana counter spells. Yep, I get it. Their last 2 cards being Cauldron Familiar Oven is not great. Let's see if they start attacking me. Nope, gonna keep attacking Jace. That's fine. That's ideal, actually.
You can easily be solved.
At this point, let's start to get a board presence. So let's play the Wandering Emperor. We're gonna have to fire some amount of pressure back their way.
Finally,
that'll also discourage the cat from attacking each turn, because it's a free blocker, of course it is. Actually, it's a free blocker anyway.
To me.
Freaking cat, man. Alright. We're gonna start by attacking. And they're gonna do their thing. Alright. They wisely do not sack the cat or anything. They don't want to potentially leave it vulnerable to
you can be made to obey.
Removal or anything, or exiling effects.
Strike true.
We're gonna Deluge main phase. We find Teferi, and I think I might want that other Eiganjo, honestly. Alright, that's fine. So our goal now is we are being drained out every turn because of Cat Oven. We have not found a temp lockdown yet, which is kind of really what we're looking for. But we have a few more turns to find it. And we have decent amount of protection if they start deploying some of their other threats. Deadly Dispute. You're not typically supposed to counter the card draw, but if they draw Mayhem Devil here, I can't normalize it. So I think I'm just gonna Dovin's Veto this Dispute. Deadly Dispute is so freaking good. It's partially because it gets them 2 cards and a treasure token. And if they just start dropping Mayhem Devil... Oh wait, they Deadly Disputed the Witch's Oven? That was bold. I do not think that was correct. I think them doing that whole song and dance every single turn with the cat was, like, you know, I was slowly dying. The onus was on me to find an answer to it, and they just kind of threw it away, so I don't necessarily think that was correct. Okay. So against Rakdos Sack, here comes temporary lockdown. Here comes Biza. Gains us a bunch of life and stuff. Jace wasn't bad there. He bought us a whole bunch of time, but we're basically just looking to sweep up all their little things. And Biza's a better stabilizer than Jace post-board, I think. Because like they can't get through it, and it'll just like gain us some blockers and some life. Marches are great. Get lost are fine. I mean, it destroys their scavengers talent, but like we don't want them to use those maps. It's probably it like also just kills a mayhem devil easily, so it's probably better than nothing. We do want the rips. Gonna cut the farewell. 6 mana is so much for a sweeper, even in this matchup, even if it exiles everything, but we could find other ways to exile things. We're 1 over right now. I'm considering if I want to bring in like the Shark Typhoons maybe for additional blockers. I probably don't think that's necessary. Veto was really good there, but I think that's just because their like hand was a bit awkward, so I'm actually gonna trim on the Vetoes. It not being able to hit creatures is very important. And we want to be using those like No More Lies and Veto effects early on to counter their like, you know, Scavengers talents and stuff like that. This hand is slow, but I don't think I want to mulligan because they're gonna have a million Thought Seizes. There's another cat. No. This is the thing where if they go turn 1 cat, turn 2 oven, being on the draw versus the play is huge. Got the oven? Do not have the oven, that's actually big. Alright. Now they're gonna deadly dispute their cat, I think. They are. This one I'm not gonna counter. I want to save my Get Lost to kill their Mayhem Devil if they play it, Dovin Veto to counter the Scavenger's Talent or the Oven. There's buying Gigantha? That's crazy. I don't know what the heck their hand could be, where they're just buying Gigantha on turn 3 and doing nothing. Unless they're trying to like make me use my mana less efficiently, but like I'm fine just chilling until I get to the late game. I don't have a second blue source yet, so we're gonna have to use this Field of Ruin for that. They do nothing again. I'm gonna take this opportunity to field the Blooming Marsh and cut them off green and get my second blue source. Typically I would just untap in normal circumstances, but I don't have a second blue source in my hand and I want to be able to hold a Deluge next turn. They do have the basic forest. Cool. So just gonna pass back. This is the turn where they should jam. They have Gigantha. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. That is a Dovin. Very, very prime Dovin Veto target. There is a Witch's Oven. Cat's in the graveyard though, so they can't get it yet. We have Teferi this turn. I think I'm just playing Teferi this turn, honestly. They could have Bitter Triumph, they could have Deadly Dispute, but
I'm not going to sit this one out. Let's skip to the good part.
I'll at least get my 2-for-1 off of it. This on the stack, you gonna cast a spell? No. Two get lost is like kind of mid. I would prefer to have there's a Thoughtseize, that's fine. Probably take the Deluge here if I were them. Takes the Verdict. Not quite sure what that means. Oh, this is why. Because Ward Sack of Food. Ward Sack of Food is crazy, by the way. Ooh, we have bees. Well, let's draw first. The good news is we can make a token with Fountainport. So 3 tap Fountainport. We have 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah. So here's what we're gonna do. We are going to make a fish. Shock this in. You're a food, right? Just Ward Sack a food. Yep. We're gonna get lost too. I'm sure. Sack a food. I'll sack this food. Here we get the counter. They get to get 2 freaking things. They should have sacked... I guess they'd rather have the maps. I'm not sure what's going on. I'd rather have the maps, so maybe their plan is play Giganta, put maps on it, but if they get the 2 foods, they could just do... Oh, that's why. I mean, I guess that makes sense. That's fine. We have an active Teferi, so they're getting a crap ton of card advantage, but we are grinding through. The recipe again, sure. Can't take these, should probably take the Deluge. Take the Get Lost. That means they have a creature in their hand that they want to stick around, but they're not playing it. Ooh, there it is. Do I even want to play that now?
Let's skip to the good part.
I don't even know if I want to play this right now. If I want them to extend more into it. Or maybe it's probably correct just to play it now because they could have other duresses or Thoughtseizes or whatever, so... Yeah, we're just gonna play it now. Let's have the Fountainport. Alright, no more ovens for you. I do not think they were necessarily... I think they maybe should have been more... They should sack the Yurgra and started doing the recurring the cat thing. But, like, that's a very, very slow way to deal with me, and they just want to, like, draw into, like, Mayhem Devils and stuff. Yeah. That Teferi's gonna ult in a few turns. I got a bunch of cards in my hand. It was a tough spot for them, for sure. Okay, on the draw. Hand is kind of mid, but it's fine. Opponent's on Kaheera, which means they could be enigmatic fires. They could be, like with the overlords or whatever. They could be Qunitorius combo. They could be a number of things. This hand isn't particularly good against either of those things, to be honest with you. Okay, Get Lost helps. Get Lost does help against both of those things. No Fable's good. I think I'm just gonna run out this Jace and start drawing cards. They can have a Leyline Binding here. If that's the case, let's perhaps get a good idea of what they're actually playing. And then maybe get our 2-for-1 if they go for a Leyline Binding on this Jace. Alright, it is Qunitorius combo. Good to know. If they have it, they have it this turn, actually. There's a Leyline Binding. No Quint right now.
A more efficient solution must be found.
Alright, they might have just had the tap land and they still have it in their hand, so... we are ready. We have to Get Lost. They're cycling. They only have 1 card in hand. Kaheera, that's what we like to see. And, oof. No second blue is rough. Alright, guess it doesn't really matter what I field, but I'm gonna field to get the second blue. Lockdown utterly useless in this matchup, so I wouldn't mind pitching that to like a March or something. Get my second blue. We see they are running at least a few basics. Alright, they unfortunately get to cycle their Xander's Lounge off of that. Land? Nope, no land. Okay. We're just gonna pass. Get rid of this useless lockdown. Unfortunately, we have to discard a hand size, but we can't afford to tap out when they could literally just 1-card combo us next turn. We gotta be ready. And we are ready. For now. Nothing? Kaheera. Kaheera's fine. You can draw your 1 card. And now they'll usually looking for lands. Okay, Otawara could save us from death, and we'll take a Deserted Beach. So now we can go... That thing's a 5, Teferi goes up to 5. So... we can... 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. This thing's 5 CMC. I'm trying to figure out a way to kill that at sorcery speed and still have mana to get lost the Qunitorius next turn if they have it. Not quite there yet because he missed a land drop last turn, so I think, again, I hate discarding to hand size, like, repeatedly. You do not want to be doing that, but I also don't want to get one card comboed, and I think we can, perhaps I'm being too cautious, I think we could relatively effectively be safe from getting one card comboed. We'll take 5, that's fine. They try to clever impersonator the Karuga. Do I kill it? Alright, we're gonna go. This is 5. We'll do it for 5. Exiling the Supreme Verdict. There it goes. Sunken Citadel. So, does having 2 versus 3 mana up really matter with this Teferi? I don't think so. Also, do they play like mystical disputes and stuff in their main? I highly doubt it. Post board, that's something I have to be worried about, but probably not main board. So let's draw with Teferi.
If you show remorse, hurry.
Another Teferi, backup Teferi. Alright, play this on blue, and pass a turn. If they play the Dino, like, am I just dead? I never remember exactly how that part of the combo works. I guess it depends on what they cascade into. It's like if they cascade into Qunitorius, I'm dead, but if they don't cascade into Qunitorius, I'm alive, or something like that. Alright, draw with Teferi. Alright, now it's fine because I have Otawara up. If I go Deluge, can I go 1, 2, 3, 4? Okay, if I go 4 mana Deluge right now, I can have Otawara plus Get Lost, which is good. We're really looking for counterspells here. That's a counterspell. That's good. And the Restless Anchorage could then help us start to turn the corner and actually attack, which is good. So that is part of it. Another decent avenue to victory is the Jace here, and I can get him back from the Leyline Binding eventually, but now I'm just trying to absolutely, unequivocally make sure that I don't die to a one-card combo. Another Teferi. I'm discarding the hand size again, I guess. I have these extra marches. Alright, we'll untap this. Get rid of the march. Because we have counterspell plus 2 removal spells. That should hopefully be enough. End step. I think I'm just doing this. Give me the Jace. No Morales is pretty useless, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana on their side. Yeah, we'll take the Hall. Untap draw. Play a land. Plus a Teferi.
Keep up the pace.
Play this Jace. Yeah, play this Jace. We're actually gonna plus the Jace because we have to discard the hand size anyway. And next turn we get to ult Teferi.
Become subdued.
And mill a bunch with this Jace, mill a bunch with this Jace. They have 37 cards. So they're still a few turns away from getting milled out, I think. I still discard some cards, discard this Hallowed Fountain, discard this extra Anchorage. Dovin's Veto's huge. Hard counters the Quint. There's a Leyline Binding. Let's Dovin's Veto the Leyline Binding. Because we have another counterspell if they have the Qunitorius or the Dino. My turn, huh? Alright, so that is 7 mana to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have to exile 2 cards. Do that. Alright. So let's go. Yeah, I'm about to ultimate Teferi. Mill a bunch for Jace. Exile this. Draw 3 more cards. Exile 3 more permanents. Yeah. It was gonna be a bloody massacre. Alright, Qunitorius combo. Mystical Dispute, yes please. Actually, no, that doesn't stop Qunitorius. These lockdowns are useless. I like the Shark Typhoons. I kind of like the Narsets. The Sweepers are kind of also a little bit useless. I might keep like in the Farewell. Might trade these Sunfalls for Narsets. Probably keep in the Farewell just in case they do like a more mid-rangey enchantment-based nonsense post board. They could bring in like they try and kill me with like Beanstalk Giants and Karuga and stuff like that. So we leave in a few Sweepers, the 2 Verdicts, the 1 Farewell. And then just try and like counter all their spells and land a Planeswalker and win the game like we did last time is, I guess, the plan. Against like such a, all-in combo deck, it's less about like incremental card advantage. Although that does matter, but I think it's more so about like if I have the means to stop them from casting their 1 card, I need to do that. That a lot more pre-board. We're mulliganing, by the way. A lot more pre-board. Post-board, they're gonna have their own counter spells, their own probably Dovin's Vetoes, Mystical Disputes. So I have to be aware of that. So it becomes a lot more difficult. I would probably play quite differently if I was in the same situation. Post-board. Okay, we'll keep this on 6. March is the least efficient removal spell, I think. So we're gonna get rid of that. And our plan is going to be get a little Shark in play, start chipping in for damage. We'll keep the land. Play this on blue. And just kind of try to continuously hold up interaction. Shark Typhoon, very helpful as a nice little instant speed threat that cycles, draws me an extra card. Coolio. And now here, if they don't cast anything that we want to interact with, we just Shark cycle this for 1. Get a new card, start chipping in for a teeny bit of damage. We counter a Fable here by Karuga. Alrighty. They can't actually have Fable because it's the Quinn combo, never mind. Alright, make a 1/1 Shark. Probably left that Triome up to Leyline Binding something. They're not going to Leyline Binding this 1/1 Shark. And we got Fountainport, which is a fantastic pickup. Oh yeah. Fountainport is great. It's going to start drawing us cards throughout the game, putting a teeny little bit of pressure. You want a Leyline Binding? Absolutely, go for it. I'm more than happy to let this happen. I don't need to draw my card. Because we can't just let them untap and potentially have 5 mana and land a and land a Qunitorius or something. Alright. Deluge. Grab the Jace, grab the No More Lies. Yeah, we have a bunch of lands in hand. Another land. Okay. So I think we're playing Jace for 3 and holding up No More Lies / Get Lost. Here's Jace for 3. If they have another Leyline Binding, that's fine. We're just going to get our card off of him right away. That's 1 Qunitorius gone. There's a top card of their deck. That's pretty good. So if they try and remove it, yep, that's completely fine. That's 2 Leyline Bindings out of the way already. We have more threats where that came from, and we can remove it eventually if we need to. Trumpeting Carnosaur, that is a No More Lies. That cannot be allowed to resolve. We would die. Alright. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do we need a 6 mana? 6 mana allows us to go 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we'll play an untapped land. It always helps when we have Fountainport available to have more mana available. If they go for Karuga here, we 3 steps ahead counter draw. Trumpeting Carnosaur 2, we also do that. Trumpeting Carnosaur 2, counter draw. We can get rid of one of these Hallowed Fountain. It's another Jace, which is good to note that eventually we'll be able to just mill them to death with that. Do you want to play this Jace right now? I think I might actually just chill, hold this deluge up, and just start doing Fountainport things and hold up a bunch more interaction. Now, unfortunately, I cannot counter this, which is sad. So they're gonna draw 2 more cards. Yeah. The thing about playing against this deck is they have like 8 of these combo or die cards, and they just keep on casting them every turn, hopefully. That's their plan. That's how they beat the control deck, is like, you have to have a counterspell every single turn or else you die. I think Narset's time might have passed, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. I'll take it anyway. More interaction is more better. Ooh, another 3 steps ahead is a great pickup. Let's spin Narset. Find a card. Find a Dovin's Veto. Play a land. Now, if we get lost that Karuga, we still have our Dovin's Veto up. Oh, I should have tapped this. Uh-oh. I should have tapped that because I have the emergency button of, Sure, Leyline Binding 3. Yep, see you in our set. I have the emergency button of, March pitching, like, 3 cards to exile something if I really need to. Hopefully that won't come into play. Thought Distortion. That's not what you want to see, gamers. Well, we might be screwed at this point. Let's free Jace from his prison. And say goodbye to our entire frickin' hand. Oh, man. Oh, we drew the 3rd Dovin's Veto. We're so good at Magic the Gathering. Okay, well, I want a card, please.
I will clear your mind.
Okay, we're gonna do nothing. We just drew 2 lands, opponent. We're so sad. Not buying Kaheera because I want to be able to, like, Emperor plus use Fountainport plus have Veto, you know. I didn't count the actual mana, but 1, 2, 3. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, just better to have more available, I think. They are counting my mana. What could I possibly have? Like, why did you buy Kaheera? My plans are way beyond the cat. There he is. Uh-oh. We drew our 3rd Dovin's Veto. No 1-card combo today, opponent. I'll be honest with you. That's maybe a little bit lucky. Alright, here's Wandering Emperor. Make a guy.
During my travels. Let guards.
My turn. Oh my god, we are so good at drawing exactly what we need. Alright, we're just going to attack with this. Attempt to. Make another token.
Let your blade do the talking.
Probably should have drawn with Teferi before I decided whether or not I wanted Jace to go up, if I'm being honest.
I know my responsibility. Hurry.
Yeesh. Okay. We've seen 2 Carnosaurs and 2 Qunitoriuses, and they're about halfway through their deck. Okay. Well, for the first turn, we're shields down, so if they do the thing and they have it again, we could be in danger. And by in danger, I mean we just lose instantly, but we'll see. They're going to Clever Impersonator, probably copying my Teferi. Okay.
Right on schedule.
Well, we get to kill that on our turn, which is good. We only have 4 mana available, so they can't Qunitorius right now. We will make a fish. Okay. Okay. We're going to... Actually, we're going to attack first. And the reason why we're going to attack first is because if they have a way to save the Teferi, I don't want them to untap with it, so I could then tuck it with Teferi and mill it over with Jace. But we're going to try and kill it first. See if they have a response. They... cycle a what? A Chefnet Monitor. Okay. Okay. Let's draw a card. Nice.
I won't let you win.
Alright, amazing. So let's draw a Teferi.
Suppose that's how it was meant to happen. Hurry.
Normalize isn't going to be particularly helpful. Let's draw with Jace. Hoping to find an actual answer to a Qunitorius.
Data requires...
That does actually help. Okay. Because they play Qunitorius, they take it down, I respond by Otawara. Okay. That is fine. So we'll buy Kaheera and pass. Cycle Xander's Lounge. And this cannot be countered, which is also amazing. Thought Distortion. Well, that just takes the Normalize. They see I have Otawara now. Maybe to see if the coast is clear. Ah, we did it. That's always a very stressful one, so I'm glad that we were able to get that one done. On the play this time, thankfully, hand is slow, but opponent is Teferi with Cryptic Command Sleeves, so this might be a control mirror. Player lands in this order, I think. Could be Izzet Phoenix. Let's see. Ooh, we're getting Phoenixed. Already have some pretty good interaction for Phoenix. Yep, we're just gonna march this Shredder on my turn. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. They're very far away from treasure cruising, so we don't need to hold this up just yet. We are just going to exile this guy. Crimson Borrower just has a free one. Fair enough. You got me. Let's play the Field of Ruin and pass. I think I'm probably taking 3 and then exiling on the end step. Okay, so what goes wrong here? If I Wanderer and they Spell Pierce it, I'm a little sad, but it's fine. If I Wanderer, they respond by Picklock Prankstering, I'm also a little sad, but then I have the counter spells to interact with whatever they're doing, namely Treasure Cruise. Yeah, no, I'll play it. I'll take the bait, because this does strike me as bait, but they're okay, they do Spell Pierce it. That's fine. Play this. And we have a few turns. We could take 3 for a few more turns. We basically want to make sure that we don't get, like, Phoenixed. Yeah, I'll go for removal on this again. I'll just hard cast it for 4. If they have another Spell Pierce, it is what it is. They only run 2. Oh, Otawara. Okay, that's fine. Jace is here. We'll cast Jace. Jace is not amazing in this matchup, obviously, because you don't want to mill them for a bunch. So I think his role is going to be neutering threats. Yeah, they could pay for the Normalize. That was not a good mill for them. So I think Jace's job is just going to be, like, plussing on creatures for a while. Ooh, Treasure Cruise time. Please don't have the second Spell Pierce in your hands. Oh, thank goodness. Alright. Jace is going to sit here and plus. And then they're going to have to deal with him, because he's going to eventually threaten to mill them out, because they draw a bunch of cards. Profs. Crofts is fine. Probably. Picklock Prankster. That has Vigilance. Let's counter draw. Counter draw. Get rid of this March. Sleight of hand. Ooh, Fountainport's not a bad one. Jace goes up again.
You can be made.
Currently milling 24 cards. Another Picklock Prankster, you're casting Free the Fae? Yeah, that's fine. Found the Treasure Cruise, and can they cast it right now? They can. I cannot stop them this time, but they don't know that. Brazen Bar with the Jace? Sure. It's annoying, but it is what it is. And consider. Alright. Now we have this turn to find an answer to Treasure Cruise. This one is for Treasure Cruise. I'm just gonna pass back. Leave up our Sunfall and all this stuff. And react to what they do. Here comes the Treasure Cruise. I cannot stop it this time, unfortunately. They get to draw 3 additional cards from their deck. They get to consider. Where are your Phoenixes, man? I haven't seen a single one. We've been through half your deck. Not my fish. We're gonna draw. Sacrifice token, draw a card. Goodbye, fish. Yes. I do get to Emperor one of these Phoenixes, which is good. That thing's gonna be huge, but whatever. Yeah, that thing's a 5/7. Please don't have the other Spell Pierce. No! Okay, never mind. It was just a Fire Impulse. Alright, let's kill this Phoenix, or exile it. They get to Impulse it and save it, but
I'm going to end it.
it's fine. I get to draw. We're going to kill this thing. Let's attack them. What? Why? Oh, I don't have a white source. I only have one white source this whole time? Okay, I guess I'm shocking myself. That does make me dead to triple arc life. Oh! Alright, I forgot to, I am but a fool, and I forgot to, plus the Emperor beforehand. Teferi? No, I don't think that's what we want to be doing right now. We've blundered once or twice, and we have not
Remember your training.
drawn what I wanted to draw, so we could definitely die this turn. We could definitely die this turn. We don't have any targets to Lightning Axe, so it's going to be, I think, hard for them to pitch more Phoenixes if they have more Phoenixes. That's the one coming back. They're down to 21 cards. Here's the Phoenix. They have to attack Emperor, otherwise I exile it. Okay. Shredder, that's probably been... No? Alright, let's try to exile the Phoenix, see what they do.
Until next time, then.
It's an Impulse. We can normalize that. They have another Impulse? Lightning Axe, pitching Lightning Axe? Sure. But now they have only one card in hand and they're drawing Shredders, so I don't see them returning that Phoenix next turn. They're at 21 cards. Let's say that is 20, 19 off of the Shredder trigger. Maybe that's a cantrip 18. And they're getting pretty close to just dying to Jace. I think I'm gonna leave this up, the Restless Anchorage, as a blocker for Phoenix if they do end up returning it this turn. They can also map on the Shredder. Okay. 3-1. Artist Talent. Okay. Those lads are becoming large. Can I go 1, 2, 3 tap, 1, 2 tap? So I can go fish and sack fish, draw a card. No! Oh! Huge! We did it. All right. Jace.
Kapask. Imasa.
-X.
All your hopes.
Oh, all your Phoenixes were right at the bottom. That's so sad. All right, play around Spell Pierce. Okay, we played around Spell Pierce. Jace. X equals 4.
You cannot.
Bada boom. Let's go. Okay, that was looking a bit sketchy. There were some misplays, but we got there in the end. Okay, Arclight Phoenix. Lockdown's not very helpful. Rest in Peace is good. Farewell could be good. Want Disputes, want Narsets, want Shark Typhoons. Jace clutched that game for us, but we are going to cut him post-board, unfortunately. We do not want to be milling our opponent. Having him sneak in and like get the last 15 cards is pretty funny. But as you saw in that last game, we had that one Jace. They were getting very close to dead to him, but like if I didn't find anything to do that turn, and we were just gonna die to the Flyers or all the Phoenixes regardless. So in terms of sweepers, I like Sunfalls and Verdicts. Verdicts just being efficient to get rid of like their Crackling Drakes post board, and Sunfalls exiling stuff is very relevant. I don't like Get Losts here. I don't like Marches either, if I'm being honest with you. I think I'm cutting both Get Losts. Vetoes I like, Normalize I like. 3 steps is eh. But I think I'm going to run it like that. Don't like the Get Lost because they give them the maps, which they could actually utilize quite well because everything they have costs very little. So I think we're just going to run it like this. And see how that goes. So they're going to be probably running, diversifying their threats into like Crackling Drake, stuff like that, and probably running some more counter spells. Like they probably have some negates. They have their own mystical disputes. I play Phoenix as well, so I am aware of what the matchup is like from their side. They have a perhaps a hand that they're deliberating on a lot, whether they should keep or mulligan. I think typically, as the saying goes, when your opponent is like deliberating a lot on whether they should mulligan a hand or not, you always want them to keep it because you know that it's sketchy and it has the potential for stuff to go wrong. Oh, they don't even have their hand. They're just deciding. They're just clicking play or draw. Okay. Are they salt roping me? How dare you? After I got my cool Jace mill win, you're gonna treat me like this? Oh, well that's a one-lander for us, so let's mulligan. Oh jeez, that's not great. Let's get rid of. We have Rest in Peace and a No More Lies. We are going to bottom one of the tap lands. It's probably the Anchorage. That's kind of sus. Maybe it's the Hallowed Fountain, and I go... No, I can't do that, because I need the Hallowed Fountain untapped on turn 2. So what, I go Anchorage, Hallowed Fountain, Rest in Peace, or hold up Normalize into Citadel into Fountainport, and get rid of the Deserted Beach. Yeah. Deserted Beach is the least awkward land in our hand, but I think having utility lands here, I predict post-board games against Phoenix usually become quite grindy. So I guess we better prepare for that. Assuming we get to play it all. Opponent doesn't seem too keen on playing post-board against us. I guess their mobile device crashed. Oh well.